Consider for a moment the universal comfort of a home, a place of safety, of belonging, of identity. It is the shell we retreat into, the foundation upon which we build our lives. For most creatures on this planet, a home is built, or it is the body itself. Now imagine being born without one. Imagine being born into a state of perpetual gnawing vulnerability, your first conscious act not a cry of life, but a desperate scramble for shelter. Imagine that any home you find is not your own. It is borrowed, second-hand, and temporary. Imagine that the very act of growing, the fundamental sign of a successful life, is a recurring, life-threatening crisis that forces you onto the streets, naked and terrified. This is the life of the hermit crab, an existence defined by a constant anxious search for a home it can never truly call its own. Is there a more stressful existence? To be a lifelong refugee, an evicted tenant of your own success, a vulnerable wanderer on a hostile shore. Today, we journey into the shell-swapping, anxiety-ridden world of the hermit crab. Before a hermit crab can be evicted, it must first be born utterly exposed. Unlike their hard-shelled cousins, the lobsters and true crabs, the hermit crab emerges into the world with a fatal flaw. Its lower body, the abdomen, is soft, coiled, and unprotected. It is a tender spiral of flesh containing its digestive tract and reproductive organs, a glaring vulnerability in a world of sharp beaks, crushing claws, and unforgiving predators. It is born asymmetrical, its body already twisted to fit a home it does not yet possess. It is born incomplete. Its first quest, moments after hatching, is not for food, but for survival in its purest form. It must find a shell, any shell. It frantically scuttles across the sand, testing the empty husks of sea snails, seeking that first crucial piece of armor. This isn't a choice, it's an imperative. Without a shell, its life can be measured in minutes. It is born a refugee, and the world is its hostile border. This establishes the first great tragedy of its life. Its home is never its own. The shells it so desperately seeks are the beautiful calcified mausoleums of dead sea snails. Its safety is predicated on the death of another creature. It is a second-hand life, a constant reliance on the remnants of others. It becomes a master of evaluation, meticulously inspecting each prospective home. It checks the weight, the interior volume, the size of the opening. Too large, and it's a clumsy burden, easily snatched by a predator. Too small, and it can't retract fully, leaving its soft parts dangerously exposed. It is a Goldilocks problem with a life-or-death consequence. But let's say it finds one. A perfect, snug-fitting shell. For a time there is peace. It can retract from danger, control its moisture levels and carry its fortress on its back. But this peace is tragically temporary, for here we encounter the central crisis of the hermit crab's existence, the paradox of growth. In almost every other corner of the animal kingdom, growth is a sign of success. It means you are finding food, thriving, and getting stronger. For the hermit crab, growth is a source of liquid dread. As its body grows, its borrowed home becomes a prison. The once perfect fit becomes a suffocating constriction. It must molt, shedding its exoskeleton to get bigger, but to do so it must leave its shell. This is the eviction. It must abandon its fortress and stand on the open sand, its new skin soft and exquisitely vulnerable, and begin the frantic search all over again. This period, between shells, is the most dangerous moment of its life. It is exposed, slow, and a perfect target. Its anxiety is palpable. Scientists have observed that hermit crabs in ill-fitting shells are quicker to abandon them for new ones, but they are also more stressed, more likely to be attacked, and have lower reproductive rates. Their housing situation directly dictates their quality of life. This leads to a phenomenon straight out of human economics, a brutal, high-stakes housing market. The most desirable shells are a scarce resource, and competition is fierce. This gives rise to fascinating and sometimes brutal behaviors. Scientists call one of these behaviors a vacancy chain. A large crab finds a new, bigger, empty shell. It moves in, abandoning its old home. This now empty shell is spotted by a slightly smaller crab, who happily makes the trade-up. Its old shell is then taken by an even smaller crab, and so on, in a chain reaction of upward mobility. It is a beautiful, emergent form of unintentional cooperation. But what happens when there are no empty shells on the market? The situation turns dark. Hermit crabs will actively fight for shells. They engage in shell wrapping, where a larger prospective tenant will knock or rock the shell of a smaller crab, trying to intimidate the resident into leaving. If that doesn't work, they may attempt a forced eviction, using their larger claws to physically pull the smaller crab from its home. It is a desperate act of robbery, a life-or-death struggle for the most valuable resource on the beach. This constant underlying stress of finding and defending a home is a profound struggle. It's a feeling we humans in our own way can understand. The anxiety of rent, the search for a stable place to live, the fear of losing it all. It's a primal fear. If you've ever felt that pressure of finding the right place to live, you know a tiny fraction of what these creatures endure their entire lives. We'd be fascinated to hear your own housing crisis stories in the comments. And if you find this deep dive into the hidden struggles of the animal kingdom compelling, a simple like on this video helps our channel grow and bring more of these stories to light. As if its natural life wasn't difficult enough, the hermit crab now faces a uniquely modern tragedy, one of our own making, the plastic graveyard. Hermit crabs are guided by a sense of smell to find new homes, homing in on the chemical signature of a decaying snail. Tragically, chemical additives in plastics can mimic this scent. They are drawn to the brightly colored hollow promises of our refuse, bottle caps, broken containers, and plastic shells. They crawl inside expecting a new home, but find a trap. The interiors are often too smooth to get a grip, the openings too awkward to exit. They get stuck. They starve. And then, the true horror begins. As their body decomposes, it releases the very chemical signature that tells other hermit crabs a shell is available. One by one, they are lured into the same plastic tomb, creating a morbid, cascading chain of death. A 2019 study estimated that over 500,000 hermit crabs die this way each year on just 2 remote island groups. They are dying in a graveyard of our convenience. So we return to the question, is it the worst thing to be born as a hermit crab? The evidence is overwhelming. To live in a borrowed house made from a corpse, to have your own growth be a recurring, life-threatening crisis, to fight your neighbors for the basic right to shelter, and now, to be tricked into plastic tombs by the ghosts of your own kind. It is a life of profound, unrelenting anxiety. And yet, there is another way to see it. The hermit crab is the ultimate survivor. It is a master of adaptation, resourcefulness, and resilience. Its entire existence is a testament to making a life against all odds. It finds value where others see only death. It creates complex social chains out of individual self-interest. It carries its entire world on its back, a testament to the enduring, universal quest for a safe place to call home. It is not a creature of weakness, but one of incredible, desperate strength. The next time you walk on a beach and pick up a beautiful empty shell, take a moment. See it not as an object, but as a home, a fortress, a prize in a lifelong battle you can barely imagine. It is a symbol of a vulnerable wanderer's relentless struggle and its extraordinary will to survive. The natural world is full of these hidden dramas and profound life lessons. If you want to continue exploring the deep, untold stories of the creatures we share this planet with, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You'll never look at a shell the same way again.